that information until my next doctor's appointment. My due date is December 29th.
Blueface's girl drama just turned into a full-blown internet courtroom. And at this point, the judge needs hazard pay, the jury needs therapy, and the group chat needs holy water. 1 minute, Jaidyn is getting checked like somebody finally opened the receipts folder. The next minute, Chrisean is allegedly getting played in a situation that already looked messier than a Zeus reunion with no security. And then here comes Neve, Rella, and the rest of the side character chaos walking in like Marvel just dropped a toxic multiverse. Nobody asked for, but everybody is watching. Because let's be serious, this is not regular relationship drama anymore. This is Blueface Cinematic Universe, Prison Edition, Baby Mama Edition, Side Girl Edition. And everybody thinks they one but nobody left clean edition. Fans are confused, the comments are fighting, screenshots are breathing heavy, and every woman connected to this man somehow ends up dragged into the same circus ring. But the real twist is not who got checked, who got played, or who got ghosted. It is who Blueface may have been playing chess with the whole time. The mess did not start like a normal update, because nothing connected to Blueface ever walks in politely, sits down, and acts civilized. It came in loud, messy, and already wearing sunglasses indoors, with fans staring at the screen like they had just opened a family group chat during a holiday fight. The whole energy was basically saying Jaidyn got checked, Chrisean got played, Neve got dragged into the circus, and Rilla got left looking like the plot twist nobody remembered inviting. And the wild part is, none of it felt random, because Blueface's relationship timeline has been moving like a reality. Show producer is hiding behind the couch pressing the drama button every 20 minutes. At the center of the chaos was the same old question fans keep asking, but somehow the answer keeps changing costumes. Who actually has position? Who is just being entertained? And who is getting used for a reaction? Because once Jaidyn's name got pulled back into the mix, the internet immediately treated it like somebody reopened an old case file with fingerprints, still fresh on the evidence bag. People were not just watching to see whether she got embarrassed. They were watching to see whether she still had enough power to check the room back. That is where the story started heating up, because Jaidyn has always been tied to Blueface in a way that makes every new girl look temporary. But every temporary girl still somehow gets a full season. Then Chrisean's side of the drama made the room even louder, because fans heard got played and instantly started acting like they were licensed relationship detectives. Some people were laughing, some were defensive, and some were pretending they were above the mess while refreshing every page, like they had rent money riding on the next screenshot. Chrisean's name alone changes the temperature, because with her it is never just about who said what. It becomes loyalty, motherhood, pride, humiliation, comeback energy, and public revenge all stuffed into one emotional suitcase. So when the storyline suggested she might have been outmaneuvered, fans did what fans always do. They turned a messy claim into a courtroom, comedy show, and a battlefield before dinner. And then Neve's name being thrown around made the whole situation feel less like gossip and more like one of those Zeus backstage fights where 3 people are arguing. 2 people are crying, and 1 person is in the corner still trying to fix their wig. The internet did not know whether to read her as the new problem, the distraction, the pawn, or the girl who walked into Blueface's chaos thinking it came with a welcome basket. Every comment section started splitting into teams, with some people saying she knew exactly what she signed up for, while others acted like Blueface was running an emotional obstacle course and handing out trauma as the participation prize. That is why the build-up felt so tense, because nobody could decide if she was winning attention or walking into a trap with glitter on it. Rella getting mentioned only added another layer, because by that point, the story already had too many names, too many angles, and way too many people acting like they were the main character. Fans started connecting everything like a conspiracy board, drawing imaginary red strings between Jaidyn being checked, Chrisean being played, Neve catching heat. and Rella allegedly getting ghosted, okay? It was giving Kardashian-level relationship. Recycling, except with fewer private jets and more public embarrassment. Because every new update made the old drama look unfinished instead of irrelevant. And the more people talked, the more it felt like Blueface did not even have to say much for the chaos to move. Because the women, the fans, and the internet were already doing laps around the track. What made the whole thing worse was the way everyone online started reacting like they had personal shares in this drama stock market. One side said Jaidyn should have known better. Another side said Chrisean should have seen the game coming. Another side said Neve was getting the same lesson in a different outfit. And another side was just there for the jokes, because apparently, emotional destruction comes with popcorn now. The memes came fast, the comments got mean, and the tone shifted from what happened to who looks the dumbest. Which is exactly when celebrity drama stops being gossip and turns into a public punishment ritual. Nobody was really asking whether any of these people were okay, because the timeline had already decided the only thing that mattered was who got embarrassed first. But the messy foundation was bigger than one update, because Blueface's entire public image has been built around chaos that somehow keeps pulling everyone back in. He can be absent, quiet, loud, joking, serious, locked into another scandal, or floating above the mess like a villain watching his plan work from a balcony. And the internet will still treat his relationship drama like appointment television. That is why Jaidyn getting checked hit differently. Because her history with him gives her a certain weight in the story, even when the attention shifts somewhere else. It is also why Chrisean supposedly getting played hit so hard. Because fans have watched that connection survive so many explosions that any new humiliation feels like another episode in a series that refuses to end. By the time all the names were circulating, the comment sections were already moving like a WWE crowd after somebody got hit with a chair. People were choosing sides, switching sides, dragging old receipts, rewriting timelines, and acting shocked, even though this entire situation has been messy enough to come with a warning label. The real scandal was not just that Jaidyn got checked, or that Chrisean may have gotten played. It was that every woman in the orbit looked like she was being tested by the same pattern with a different soundtrack. And right when fans thought they had figured out who was up, who was down, and who was about to disappear from the storyline, the drama started pointing toward something even messier coming next. And just when people thought the situation could not get any louder, the internet grabbed the story by the edges and shook it like a WWE referee pretending not to see the chair under the ring. Jaidyn getting checked became the first main event because fans were not just reacting to what happened. They were reacting to what it represented after years of public embarrassment, loyalty tests, and emotional tugouvois. The comments were split between people saying she finally got humbled and people saying she still knows Blueface's pattern better than every new girl trying to audition for the circus. It was messy, it was personal, and it had the timeline, acting like they were watching a custody battle over pride position. And who really gets the last laugh? Then Chrisean's angle exploded right behind it, 'cause the second fans heard she may have gotten played, the internet turned into a courtroom, with no judge, no evidence rules, and 12 million people yelling objection from their couches. Some fans were saying she should have seen the game coming, while others were defending her. Like, Blueface has not built an entire career out of making women question whether chaos is affection. The sarcasm online was brutal because people were acting like Chrisean walked into the same maze again while the walls had Blueface's name spray painted on them. And somehow, even with all the jokes flying, there is still tension underneath, because every Chrisean update comes with real emotion hiding under the clown. Makeup Neve's name getting pulled into the smoke made everything feel even more unhinged, because now the storyline had too many moving parts and not one single person holding the steering wheel. Fans started comparing her to the newest cast member on a Zeus show who walks in smiling, not realizing episode 3 is where somebody throws a drink and ruins everybody's lashes. Some people said she was playing the attention game. Some said she was getting played by the attention game. And some said Blueface was using the entire situation like a remote control for reactions. The more her name circulated, the more the drama stopped being about one woman and turned into a full group project nobody wanted to grade. And Rila getting ghosted, or at least being framed that way by the internet, added that extra sprinkle of disrespect that made the whole thing feel like reality TV written by a villain with Wi-Fi. Because once fans believed somebody was being ignored, dismissed, or left hanging, they immediately started building memes like construction workers on overtime. It became less about romance and more about ranking who got played the worst, which is honestly, by the end of the escalation, the drama was no longer just about Jaidyn getting checked or Chrisean getting played. Because the internet had turned the whole thing into a referendum on Blueface's orbit. Fans were asking why every woman around him ends up in the same cycle, why the public keeps rewarding the mess, and why each new update feels like a trailer for an even worse episode. Nobody was really walking away with a clean win, because even the people getting attention were getting roasted right along with it. And right when it looked like the timeline had finally chosen its villain, another detail started bubbling up that made everyone wonder if the real setup had been hiding in plain sight the whole time. By the time the dust started pretending to settle, nobody in the situation looked untouched, because this drama did not just splash, it stained. Jaidyn getting checked left fans debating whether her position was still strong or whether the public finally watched the power shift in real time. Chrisean allegedly getting played had people acting like they were watching the same emotional movie with a worse ending and a louder soundtrack. And Blueface somehow still sat in the middle of it all like the human Wi-Fi router for chaos, connecting every woman to the same unstable signal. The aftermath hit differently, because now the conversation was no longer just about who got embarrassed, it was about who looked trapped in the pattern. Fans started pointing out how every woman in Blueface's orbit eventually ends up being compared, questioned, dragged, or forced into some public competition she never officially signed up for. Jaidyn had the history, Chrisean had the emotional, Storm Neve had the new girl spotlight, and Rayla had the ghosted side character energy that still made people talk. It was giving reality TV chessboard, except every piece was moving. Nobody knew the rules. And the king was laughing from the sidelines. Chrisean's reputation took another complicated hit. Because even when fans clown her, they still watch her, like she is the emotional center of the whole saga. Some people said she got played because she keeps believing in a connection that has already publicly embarrassed her more times than a malfunctioning lie detector. Others said the internet loves acting shocked when Chrisean reacts, but stays quiet about the pattern that keeps pushing her toward the edge. That is why her part of the fallout felt heavier. Because behind all the memes and jokes, people could still sense pride, pain, an unfinished business sitting right under the surface. Jaidyn's side had its own collapse, but in a quieter, sharper way, because being checked publicly hits different when fans already think they know your history. The internet treated her like the veteran who should have predicted the play before it happened, and that made the jokes even colder. But at the same time, some viewers argued Jaidyn was not weak. She was just exhausted from being tied to a situation that keeps recycling humiliation as entertainment. And honestly, that is where the story got uncomfortable. Because every laugh started sounding less like comedy and more like people watching somebody get punished for staying too long. Then came Nevea standing in that dangerous middle space where attention looks like a prize until the internet starts turning it into a courtroom. Fans could not decide whether she was being used as a distraction, becoming a real threat, or simply learning the hard way that Blueface drama does not come with soft entry. One minute people were dragging her, the next minute they were defending her, and then 5 minutes later they were accusing everybody of playing everybody. That confusion made her role even bigger because uncertainty is gasoline online. And Neve became one of the sparks everybody kept flicking back toward the fire. Rella's name floating around added the final insult to injury layer. Because once somebody gets labeled as ghosted in a public drama, the internet turns sympathy into a roast session with surround sound. People were joking like she got written out of the script before the season finale. But others said her situation showed how disposable people can look once the attention shifts. That is the ugly part nobody wanted to sit with too long, because behind the jokes was the feeling that every woman involved was being ranked like a messy scoreboard. And the scoreboard was not measuring love, loyalty, or truth. It was measuring who looked the most played by the end of the week. The alliances started looking shaky too, because fans were not just watching the women anymore. They were watching who stayed silent, who posted subliminals, who liked what, and who suddenly disappeared from the conversation. One small reaction could make people think Jaidyn was firing back, Chrisean was planning a response, Neve was holding receipts, or Rella was about to expose a whole deleted chapter. The timeline became a detective agency with no license, zooming in on body language, captions, old videos, and the kind of suspicious timing that makes gossip channels start breathing heavily. It was internet courtroom energy at its most dramatic, and everybody was acting like the next post could blow the roof off. But the real final twist is that Blueface did not even need to be the loudest voice for the chaos to keep moving, because the machine is already trained to run without him. Every woman connected to him becomes a headline, every reaction becomes evidence, and every silence becomes suspicious enough for fans to build a whole theory around it. So while people were laughing about Jaidyn getting checked, Chrisean getting played, Neve catching heat, and Rella getting ghosted, the bigger questions started creeping in. What happens when one of them finally stops reacting, stops protecting the story, and drops the kind of receipt that turns this whole circus into a crime scene? Now, y'all already know what time it is, because this Blueface situation did not just give drama. It gave confusion, embarrassment, side-eye, and emotional whiplash with a family-sized bucket of popcorn. So go ahead and smash that like button like it owes you money, because after watching Jaidyn get checked, Chrisean get played, Neve catch smoke, and Rella get tossed into the storyline like a deleted Zeus cast member, the least you can do is help the algorithm survive this mess. And don't just sit there acting innocent. Because I know your eyebrows were raised the whole time like you were sitting front row at an internet custody battle over chaos. Drop your comment below and tell me who you think really got played the worst. Who is pretending they are unbothered, and who is secretly one receipt away from turning this whole situation into a 5-alarm scandal? Because at this point, the timeline is not resting, the fans are not blinking, and somebody is always one shady post away from sending the internet right back into meltdown mode. Also, subscribe to Secret Scoop before this drama grows another leg, buys a wig, and starts running through the comments section again. We are keeping the receipts warm, the sarcasm sharp, and the mess fully documented. Because when celebrity chaos starts moving like a runaway reality show, you already know we are pulling up with the voiceover, the side-eye, and the facts wrapped. In drama, stay locked in, stay nosy, and stay ready, because this story is not finished. This is Secret Scoop. Secret Scoop.